Good Thursday evening, meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center with this live update. Taking a look here at the current area view of things, you do see some temperatures here that are in those 80s, while other spots, well, we haven't seen any moisture today. They're in the 90s. That's pretty much the story. I know we're trying to simulcast some things in some different platforms, so you might be wondering why I'm on Facebook right now. We're trying to simulcast between a few different sources. I think we're having some issues right now with Periscope, so we'll try to get that worked out here a little bit later on, but you get the idea in terms of the overall trends, and luckily some areas haven't seen really any rainfall today. We were expecting a little more coverage of the rain across our area, but that hadn't been the case. And I know with the rain here it forecasted for that holiday weekend, that's good to see here overall. We don't want to see too much rain around here and maybe start to have some more flooding concerns. So we'll be watching that. I'll get to that here in the full forecast in just a moment. But again, we are looking here across our region right now with those temperatures, with those rainfall conditions. And as I look back here over the last 12 hours or so, I'll take off our temperatures and you'll be able to see not really getting the coverage of the rain that we were expecting here. There's still a chance we could get some strong severe storms developing around Jacksonville a little bit later on. So we'll keep our eyes on that potential here in the Weather Center, but luckily that hadn't really been the case here as we've looked across our region today. Now, there have been some different things that have been happening, though, of course. We've been watching to see if we get anything to develop in the tropics here with this overall pattern, and right now it's looking like the chance of that happening is getting lower and lower. That's the good news here, but still, rain chances here pretty high for the weekend. Maybe not quite as high as we were thinking earlier on, but they're still high enough to cause some issues here, be disruptive. I mean, I have them about 70%, a little lower, but I'll see that here more in that full forecast in a moment so we can kind of talk in depth about that. And also, I'll have a look here at those forecast rainfall amounts for your neighborhoods here across the region. So that's something to keep in mind. I know even though we haven't seen a lot of storminess, Gainesville, there was a significant weather advisory earlier. A storm was just below severe limits there, and Gainesville Airport did get a gust to about 50 miles an hour or so. So even though we didn't get severe weather in that area, we did still get some pretty nasty conditions overall. So you just always have to be on guard, even if there's not a warning in play. The radar not even showing too much wind energy, you can still get some issues. And speaking of some issues, unfortunately, a tragedy did occur in toward Jacksonville, not necessarily weather related, at least in the current term of weather here today, but a tree fell on a car vehicle there. Two people did lose their lives, unfortunately, there in toward Jacksonville, and it just happened, a fluke type situation there, and very bad, very bad situation there in toward Jacksonville. But let's go ahead and go over toward our zoomed in radar so we can kind of see this action a little bit better right now. And you see around Waycross some shower thunderstorm action there in toward Ware County. We have some storminess here in toward Brantley County as well. So just be mindful of that as you're headed out and about here. Could still get some strong severe storms to develop around Jacksonville. So just stay tuned here. We'll be on if there's any warnings that we need to come on for here as we go ahead and move throughout the rest of the evening hours here. We have some boundaries in play, and Weather Service is talking about this potential. But let's go ahead and move to some of those cameras right now, shall we? Let's go ahead and pop up some of those cameras across the region. We were alluding to the conditions being pretty dry, and that's the case as we look all across our area here, except as we get toward Waycross Row in and a little bit out toward parts of Interstate 10 right now. So let's go ahead and pop up. We'll start off with the baseball grounds camera here today. So here's the first stop, and you'll be able to see on the Weather Stem Tour, we do have pretty nice conditions there right now. The rain chances, rain not really showing up as much as what we were expecting, as I've alluded to, but that's going to change here, it seems, as we look ahead here in toward the period. Now, as I look around here to some other cameras, let's take you to Tallahassee. Sunny conditions there at FSU, Doak Campbell Stadium there. You get the idea. Those weather conditions have been pretty nice here relative to what we've been seeing and what we've been expecting here across the region, really. But I'll go ahead and kind of get into some more things now. I've kind of alluded to it, so let's go ahead and jump on in here. Some other information. We've looked at some of those cameras across the area. We've kind of given you that vantage point on things. We've looked here at the radar as well. We're watching that action in toward parts of Georgia. We're also watching in toward other parts of the country. There's some severe threats. I know in Colorado right now, there's even a tornado warning here in play. This is not too far away from Goodland, Kansas, so we'll watch to see if we get a tornado down here in toward this area. This is in eastern Colorado there, Kit Carson County under that, so just thought I'd give you a heads up on that situation as well. But we're just going to keep our eyes on a lot of these storms here, a lot of severe weather going all the way to North Platte, Nebraska here as well. But now let's get into that forecast here. We're going to break down your Independence Day forecast here as we go hour by hour. So here it is, you see, as we kind of have that 4th of July theme going here. You see those temperatures, 86 here as we're looking around 1 o'clock. As we get later in the day, maybe some more storms around. We'll see exactly how that goes. 85 and then 78 as we're getting ready for fireworks. I know with the coronavirus, not as many people or not as many groups there, cities doing the fireworks. But we're just going to have to, of course, stay safe with everything involved with that here. And the temperatures will be falling off as the sun goes down, of course, but you still might have to have that umbrella in hand. The chances of rain are falling as we get later on, though, so that's some good news. We'll have to just kind of take that into consideration here, too, though, with the conditions with those storms still possibly around. But let's just hope we can get the worst of that out of the way here by the time we get later on in the evening hours. Now, as we get over toward a look here at that overall rainfall forecast, we're looking into next Wednesday. You do see 1 to 3 inches here of rain expected in toward the Gainesville, Palm Coast areas. Same for Jacksonville and Tallahassee. As we get over toward the Big Bend coastline, you see here some areas maybe closer toward about 2 to 4 inches here. Areas there maybe getting closer toward Perry, for instance. It's based on some of the model data, but our least impacted zones right now look to be in toward southern Georgia, though it's all relative here, 1 to 2 overall. That you got to focus on some of the localized amounts. Some spots in North Florida and South Georgia will get higher amounts than this. There'll be a couple of spots probably with lower amounts here as well, but this is just a general gist of things here as we're looking ahead. So that's that. Now let's go ahead and get into toward that planning forecast. You do see here as we are looking ahead, you see those rain chances stand pretty high. I didn't lower them just a little bit here as we're looking on that 4th of July on your Independence Day. But those temperatures overall here will be about the same as what we've been anticipating. You see those upper 80s, a little cool with some rain around here, but at least those rain chances a little lower, trying to be on the positive side, but still 70%. That's still going to be an inconvenience for everybody around the region pretty much, and you'll just have to be cognizant. And when thunder roars, you want to go indoors. I'm hoping we won't get as much severe weather as we were seeing earlier in the week here this weekend, because if the temperatures are down and stability's down here, it looks like, and that's it help with some of the severe weather potential, but we'll just have to wait and see exactly what is happening. And then as we get over toward the Tallahassee, Valdosta area forecast now, you see the temperatures about the same as what we were expecting over toward Jacksonville, Gainesville. You see those 70% rain chances here in the picture as well, and we'll go ahead and just kind of keep our eyes on this here. We'll watch to see how things evolve. I know the model's not really showing a tropical system developing this week now, but some models are trying to spin something up more in the next week, later next week. So we'll watch. Not too concerned right now. Just be careful out there. Could have some minor flooding. And some of these showers and some of these storms could be rainfall producers that are pretty efficient ones. So you have to just be careful out there as you're headed out and about. We'll leave you here with that look at that Jacksonville, Gainesville forecast here one more time. And here that is one more time. Here it is one more time. So I just kind of enjoy that forecast here the best you can. I mean, hopefully we're going to be able to have some breaks in here at times, especially maybe tomorrow, maybe even on Monday, maybe even the weekend. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic here. We'll be able to get outdoors for a little while since I did lower the rain chances a little bit. Maybe it won't be a complete wash out, but there are going to be parts of the day that are negatively impacted here by some showers and storms around. That pretty much does it here for this update. I'll be back here on Monday with our next scheduled update on the platforms here. We're planning to do that over on Facebook, of course, though we're trying to do some different things here, simulcasting some different things. So there's a chance I might come back in a few minutes and be over on Twitter, depending on how this translated over to that platform here. I think we're having some issues, so I might be back over on Twitter here in a little bit to do an update for that audience, just to kind of give them the latest on everything. But for now, meteorologist Casey Cloud, thanks so much for tuning in and have a great night.